A lot of companies don't know that they're making mistakes as they're going through the hiring process. Well, we've got the recruiter guy, the expert in the area, Bill Humbert, joining me. Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with me this morning.
Oh, Maddie, it's such a pleasure. I appreciate you having me on your show.
Oh, we love having you here because I feel like I get to talk to you and then everyone gets to listen to what you have to say. And I learn so much from these conversations. So the wisdom that you're spreading upon the world is wonderful.
Super, thank you.
Of course. Now, we're going to talk about why hiring manager training is so important. So, why is this training so important?
Over my 40 plus years as a talent attraction consultant, what I've discovered is very few managers have received formal interview training to learn how to effectively interview.
Now, as they're interviewing, why is it important for them to know how to correctly conduct an interview?
Well, first of all, think about this. If you haven't been taught how to effectively interview, you certainly haven't been taught how to select the best qualified candidate. And secondly, sometimes managers have no clue what questions are illegal and which ones are legal. For instance, I had a manager who had newly moved from another country interview a woman candidate. This was some time ago. And the woman, when I extended an offer to her, told me some of the questions he asked. And essentially, he went down the litany, step by step by step. Are you pregnant? Are you planning on getting pregnant? How are you going to take care of the kid? I mean, he asked all the wrong questions. And I went to him and I said, all these questions that you asked, you cannot ask them in the United States. And he said, well, in my country, we're supposed to ask them. So, it's really important that companies step up and have their managers learn how to effectively interview.
And what's something that's really important for managers to remember as they're going through the interviewing process?
Maddie, what I've seen is some managers understand that building that relationship with the candidate, whether they end up hiring them or not, is very important. I had one manager say, or one candidate called, when I called them for their offer, I didn't know she liked me. I just went, oh my gosh. So it's important that they build a relationship, a positive relationship with the candidate, and that helps the candidate decide if they want to work with them.
Which is really important because this is a career, so you're making the move to take the job. You want to make sure that you like who you're working for, or else you're not going to even like showing up to work. Now, what are some great tips and tricks that people can find on your website as they're building their interviewing questions to find the best candidate?
Well, there are 8 different ways that I can structure interview questions. And, most candidates today are aware of how to respond to behavioral questions. So it's really important to mix and match and put in the questions that kind of gets them off step, off comfort, and makes them think a little bit more, and you'll get better answers that way.
Now, these are great resources that are found on your website where people can see these 8 fantastic prompts, guidelines, steps to really make sure that they're doing the best interview.
That's correct. RecruiterGuy.com, that's where they'll find them.
And now, how should a manager end an interview?
Maddie, this is very important. If the manager loves this person, and let's say the person networked their way in through somebody the manager trusts, making an offer that day is so important because good candidates have a very short shelf life. And if you wait a week, you're probably going to lose them. And I'm speaking from 40 plus years of recruiting experience. I've seen it happen so many times, and it made me cry because, well, back in the early days, I got a fee for each person who started. So it's important that the manager, if they really like that person, they get that offer out as soon as possible.
Now, if a company is worried about how their manager is conducting an interview, what's a good resource for them to get in contact with you so maybe they can go through a training session with you?
The best way is just go to recruiterguy.com, and on my home page above the fold, there's a red banner and it says Speak with Bill. Click on that, put yourself on my calendar at your convenience.
And companies can use you as a resource to help train their managers, and then maybe people can use you as a resource to help find that perfect job.
Oh, absolutely. Some people call me the candidate whisperer since I've worked with so many candidates over the years.
Bill, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us, giving us all this great information, and thanks for sharing your wisdom. It's important that people know how they can best hire the best candidate.
Thank you, Maddie. It's been great.
Make sure that if you're a company who's maybe struggling to find that perfect candidate, that you have your hiring managers go through this training. That way they have the best knowledge possible as they're about to bring on your new team members. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we've got more of the show, so stay tuned.